I met and fell in love with the most handsome man on our college campus, who just happened to be Dougal and Rupert Turnbull's eldest son. This relationship found me as a frequent visitor at the Turnbull home in Cleveland, and among some of the most exciting, interesting, quirky, loving, and fun people I'd ever met. I would sit in their library and look at Rup's medical books, quizzing him when he came home from the hospital, and he would share some of his cases with me. On several occasions, he took Bob and I to the clinic with him. It was absolutely fascinating, and he was an amazing teacher, always teaching. That's where I met Norma Gill for the first time. She was the epitome of in-your-face energy and enthusiasm, a walking spark plug. She was a perpetual upper. Rup came to me one day and said, "Gwen, this is simply what you should do. Become an ET." This was just at the time that the IAET, as it was known, required an RN as a prerequisite for admission. So that's exactly what I did. I went back to school and became an RN. I was accepted to the Cleveland Clinic ET school when I was 5 months pregnant. Norma took me aside and told me, "I don't care if your last name is Turnbull and you're pregnant. You're not going to be treated with any special treatment here, so don't expect it." Oh boy. But she was a wonderful, warm, and enjoyable educator, and I was privileged to learn under her tutelage. Above all, these two understood the heart of the matter, but from two different perspectives: the patient's perspective and the doctor's perspective. When woven together, changed ostomy surgery forever, the products used and developed to care for ostomy patients, and the whole field of ostomy rehabilitation. Teaching was simply part of their DNA. They wrote, they spoke, they traveled, they published. They did what is now called marketing of what they were doing and what they'd learned. They shared their message. They reached out to every entity involved in patient care, industry and research, bringing back new ideas and techniques from other parts of the world, inviting international students and fellows to the Cleveland Clinic to be ambassadors of their techniques and philosophy of care. They created global partners. Patients probably say things best. After Rup's death in 1981, we received this letter from a patient. Quote, "He helped me into my bed and told me not to be embarrassed in the slightest, that rear ends were his specialty, and he'd seen it all before. He said in some genteel way that everybody was leaking by the time they got to him, that it was no big deal." Unquote. And this about Norma. I did see her in the hall one day as I was shuffling along, holding onto my stomach and pushing my IV. She went past me at a near run and yelled over her shoulder, "Piece of cake, isn't it?" And I replied sweetly, "Shut up." She giggled and kept on going, and later I giggled too. It was nice that Norma didn't have to baby me anymore. Cooperation benefits us all, and especially the patient. This is the lesson Norma and Dr. Turnbull taught us. Sharing, ongoing sharing, and teaching. See one, do one, teach one. Not one specialty or individual owns ostomy, wound, or continence care. It is a shared responsibility of all stakeholders involved in the care of the patient. Look where these two individuals have taken us, and where our specialty has taken itself. Norma Gill Thompson left her mark through her endless passion and dedication. Dr. Rupert B. Turnbull Jr. left his mark by teaching, encouraging the impossible, thinking out of the box, and sharing knowledge.